It's 11:43 p.m., and I'm staring at server logs when Harper's phone lights up like a Christmas tree. The notification sound cuts through our bedroom silence like a knife through butter. She's been getting a lot of late-night messages lately, always work-related, according to her. Always urgent, always requiring immediate attention from my devoted wife of 12 years. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I'm Colin, 45 years old, cybersecurity consultant who's made a decent living protecting other people's digital secrets. Ironic, considering I'm about to discover my own wife's been keeping some pretty big ones from me. I got the promotion, Harper whispers into her phone, thinking I'm asleep. Now I really need to thank my boss properly. The way she says thank makes my stomach turn. There's something in her voice I haven't heard in years. Excitement, anticipation, lust, maybe. Definitely not the tone she uses when talking about quarterly reports or employee evaluations. Harper Sloan Merritt works in human resources at Meridian Financial, a mid-sized investment firm downtown. She's 39, ambitious as hell, and apparently sleeping with someone who isn't me. The pieces have been falling into place for weeks now. Late meetings that run until midnight. New clothes that cost more than our mortgage payment. A sudden interest in expensive lingerie that never makes an appearance in our bedroom. My phone pings. Joint credit card alert. Grand Regency Hotel. Presidential suite. $850 for one night. I pour myself 3 fingers of bourbon and open my laptop. Time to put those cybersecurity skills to work on my own marriage. Harper's cloud backup is pathetically easy to access. She uses the same password for everything. Our wedding anniversary. How's that for irony? Within 20 minutes, I've got her entire digital life spread across my monitors like a crime scene investigation. Text messages, email chains, calendar invites for client dinners at 5-star restaurants, photos that make my bourbon taste like battery acid. Harper in lingerie I've never seen, posing in hotel rooms I've never been to, with a man I recognize from her office Christmas parties. Eli Warren, HR director, 51 years old, married with 2 kids, drives a BMW that costs more than I make in 6 months. Smug bastard with perfectly white teeth and a handshake that lasts too long. The kind of guy who calls everyone sport and thinks he's God's gift to corporate America. The photos are explicit. The messages are worse. 6 months of planning secret meetups, discussing how to hide expenses, laughing about how clueless their spouses are. Harper calls me the tech nerd in one message. Eli responds with crying, laughing emojis. Colin's so buried in his computers, he wouldn't notice if I brought you home for dinner, she wrote last Tuesday. That one hits different. Not just the betrayal, but the casual cruelty, the complete dismissal of 12 years together. I screenshot everything, save it to an encrypted drive, and start planning my own promotion. The next evening, Harper suggests we grab drinks at Vintage, her favorite wine bar downtown. She's wearing a red dress I've never seen before, and perfume that costs more per ounce than most people make per hour. She keeps checking her phone, smiling at messages she doesn't share. Work's been crazy lately, she says, not making eye contact. Lots of new responsibilities with the promotion. I bet, I reply, watching Eli Warren walk through the front door right on schedule. Must be exhausting, all that networking. Eli spots Harper immediately and makes his way over with the confidence of a man who's never been told no. He's wearing a $1,000 suit and a smile that makes me want to punch things. Harper. What a coincidence, he says, like they didn't coordinate this meeting down to the minute. Mind if I join you folks? I gesture to the empty chair. Please. I'd love to hear about Harper's new position. For the next hour, I watch my wife flirt with her boss 3 feet away from me. The touching, the inside jokes, the way she laughs at everything he says like he's the funniest man alive. Eli orders a bottle of wine that costs more than most people's car payments and regales us with stories about his latest business trip to Miami. The same business trip Harper took last month for HR compliance training. Colin's in cybersecurity, Harper tells Eli, like she's apologizing for my existence. He spends most of his time staring at computer screens. Fascinating work, Eli says with the enthusiasm of someone discussing tax preparation. Must keep you busy. Busier than you'd think, I reply. Amazing what people leave lying around in their digital footprints. Photos, messages, financial records. Most folks have no idea how exposed they really are. Eli's smile falters for just a second. Harper kicks me under the table. Colin's being dramatic, she says quickly. He thinks everyone's hiding something. Not everyone, I say, raising my glass. Just the people who are. I excuse myself to the bathroom and leave a small USB drive on the bar next to Eli's jacket. The label reads, "For HR, enjoy the show," in my neatest handwriting. Inside are copies of every text message, every photo, every receipt from their 6-month affair. Also included is a detailed breakdown of company policy violations, expense account fraud, and ethical breaches that would make a corporate compliance officer weep with joy. When I return to the table, Harper and Eli are whispering like teenagers planning a prank. They break apart when they see me, both wearing expressions of exaggerated innocence. "Everything okay?" Harper asks. "Perfect," I say. "Absolutely perfect." We finish our drinks in uncomfortable silence. Eli makes excuses about early meetings and disappears into the night. Harper and I drive home without speaking, the weight of unspoken truths filling the car like toxic gas. At home, I hand Harper an envelope as she's heading upstairs to shower. "What's this?" she asks. "Good luck with your career," I say. "You're going to need it." Inside the envelope are printouts of her most explicit messages with Eli, screenshots of their hotel receipts, and copies of expense reports that clearly show company funds being used for personal entertainment. At the bottom is a handwritten note. "Effective immediately, I'll be handling all future correspondence regarding your employment status. Sweet dreams." Harper's face goes white. Her hands shake as she flips through the pages. When she looks up at me, there's something new in her eyes. Fear. "Colin, I can explain." "No need," I interrupt. "I understand completely. You got promoted. Now you need to thank your boss. I'm just making sure you get the recognition you deserve." Harper doesn't sleep that night. I know because I can hear her pacing in the guest room, making phone calls she thinks I can't hear. Panicked whispers about damage control and exit strategies. She calls Eli 6 times. He doesn't answer. At 7 a.m., my phone rings. Eli Warren, probably shitting himself in his BMW. "Colin, we need to talk," he says without preamble. "Do we? I thought Harper was handling all your communication needs these days." "Listen, sport, I think there's been a misunderstanding. The only misunderstanding is you thinking I'm stupid enough to let this slide. But hey, thanks for calling. Saves me the trouble of tracking down your number." I hang up and pour myself coffee. Harper stumbles downstairs looking like she's aged 5 years overnight. Her phone is buzzing constantly. Work calls, probably. The kind that start with, "We need to discuss your recent activities," and end with security escorts and cardboard boxes. "You sent those files to my office," she says. It's not a question. I sent them to the appropriate compliance departments. Yes, along with some additional documentation you might find interesting. I slide a folder across the kitchen counter. Inside are bank statements showing every hotel charge, every expensive dinner, every gift Eli bought her with what appears to be company funds. Also included are screenshots of their text messages discussing how to hide these expenses from their respective spouses and employers. 6 months of receipts, Harper. 6 months of you and Eli treating Meridian Financial like your personal entertainment budget. The compliance department is going to have a field day. Harper's coffee mug slips from her hands and shatters on the tile floor. You don't understand the position you're putting me in. I understand perfectly. You're in the same position you put me in, except yours comes with potential criminal charges. My phone buzzes. Text message from an unknown number. This is Tess Warren, Eli's wife. We need to talk. Interesting. Seems like my little care package made it to more than just the corporate compliance office. I text back an address for a coffee shop downtown and tell Harper I'm running errands. Tess Warren is waiting for me in a corner booth, looking like she hasn't slept either. She's 48, blonde, the kind of woman who lunches and volunteers and probably has never worked a day in her life. Today, she looks like someone who's just discovered her meal ticket has been cheating with the help. "You're Colin," she says as I sit down. "I got your package. I figured you should know what your husband's been up to with company resources." Company resources. She laughs bitterly. Is that what we're calling it? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like Eli's been using our money to wine and dine your wife for 6 months. She slides her own folder across the table. Bank statements, credit card bills, receipts that make my pressure spike. Eli hasn't just been using company funds, he's been dipping into his personal accounts too. Expensive gifts, luxury hotels, weekend trips to places Harper told me she was visiting her sister. "I've been tracking his spending for months," Tess continues. "I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't prove it. Your little USB drive gave me everything I needed." "What are you planning to do with it?" "That depends. How far are you willing to take this?" I study her face. Tess Warren isn't just angry, she's calculating. The kind of calculating that comes from years of managing social circles and charity boards and all the petty politics that go with marrying money. "How far do you want to take it?" I ask. "I want them destroyed," she says simply. "Not just fired, not just divorced. I want them so thoroughly ruined that they never recover. I want Harper to understand what it feels like to lose everything she's worked for. I want Eli to realize that actions have consequences. That's a pretty steep price for an affair. This isn't just an affair, Colin. This is embezzlement, fraud, breach of fiduciary duty. Eli sits on 3 different boards. He's got a reputation to protect, political connections, business relationships that go back decades. If this gets out the right way, it doesn't just end his career. It ends his entire life as he knows it." She leans forward, and I see something cold and predatory in her eyes. I've been playing the devoted wife for 23 years. I've smiled and nodded and looked the other way while Eli did whatever he wanted because it was easier than fighting. But this time he messed with the wrong woman's husband, and I'm done being understanding. We spend the next 2 hours planning. Tess has connections I don't, social media reach that could turn this into a viral nightmare. I have technical skills she lacks, the ability to dig deeper into their digital lives and find evidence that could end them both. By the time I get home, Harper is gone. Her car isn't in the driveway, and half her clothes are missing from our bedroom. She's left a note on the kitchen counter. "Gone to stay with Jenna until we can work this out. Don't do anything you'll regret." Too late for that, sweetheart. I call Mike, my boxing coach, and one of the few people who's known me since before I became the responsible husband with the suburban house and the joint checking account. Mike runs a gym downtown, the kind of place where people work out their frustrations with heavy bags and speed drills instead of therapy and antidepressants. "She actually did it?" Mike asks when I fill him in. "After 12 years, she threw it all away for some corporate asshole?" "Looks that way." "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to make sure she understands exactly what she threw away." Mike is quiet for a long moment. "You know there's no coming back from this kind of thing, right? Once you go down this road, that's it. No reconciliation, no working it out, no happy endings." "Good," I say. I'm tired of happy endings. That evening, I drive past Jenna's apartment complex. Harper's car is in the parking lot, along with a BMW I recognize. Apparently, Eli's decided to make himself comfortable while his own wife is planning his destruction. I take photos of both cars, timestamp and GPS coordinates included. Then I hack into the building's security system and download footage of Eli and Harper entering together 3 hours ago. They're not trying to hide anymore. They think they've won. Tomorrow, they're going to learn how wrong they are. Jenna Morrison has been Harper's best friend since college, the kind of woman who thinks loyalty means enabling bad decisions and keeping dangerous secrets. She's 33, works in marketing for a pharmaceutical company, and has spent the last 6 months helping Harper cover her tracks. I know this because I've been monitoring Harper's communications since day one. Every text message asking Jenna to lie about Harper's whereabouts. Every phone call where they laughed about how clueless their husbands are. Every piece of advice Jenna gave about hiding an affair. Jenna lives in a trendy downtown loft that costs more than most people's annual salary. She drives a Lexus her daddy bought her and thinks having a trust fund makes her edgy and independent. Today, she's about to learn that enabling adultery comes with consequences. I'm parked across from her building at 6 a.m. when Eli leaves. He looks like hell, unshaven, and wearing yesterday's clothes. His BMW has a parking ticket on the windshield and bird shit on the hood. Small victories. Harper emerges an hour later, dressed for work, like nothing's happened. She's got balls, I'll give her that. Walking into Meridian Financial after I've sent their compliance department enough evidence to end her career takes either courage or stupidity. Probably both. I follow her downtown, staying 3 cars back like some kind of discount private investigator. She parks in the Meridian garage and walks into the building with her head held high, briefcase in hand, every inch the successful professional woman. She has no idea what's waiting for her upstairs. At 9:15 a.m., I position myself in a coffee shop across the street with a clear view of the Meridian Financial building. My laptop is open, connected to the building's security camera system through a back door I installed months ago during a legitimate consulting job. The irony isn't lost on me. At 9:23 a.m., 3 people in dark suits enter the building. Corporate compliance investigators based on their government-issued IDs and the way building security treats them like radioactive waste. They head straight for the elevators. At 9:31 a.m., Harper's office door opens. Through the security camera, I watch her face change from confusion to panic to pure terror as the investigators explain why they're there. One of them is holding a folder that looks suspiciously like the one I sent them yesterday. At 9:45 a.m., Harper is escorted from the building with a cardboard box and a security guard. Her face is red, her hands are shaking, and she looks like someone who's just realized her entire life has imploded in the span of 14 minutes. I take photos of her walk of shame and send them to Tess with a simple message. Phase 1 complete. But I'm just getting started. Eli's office is on the 15th floor, corner suite with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the city that probably costs more per month than most people's rent. He's got diplomas on the wall, family photos on his desk, and a reputation that's about to become worthless. I don't have access to Eli's building security, but I don't need it. Tess does that part for me. At 2:30 p.m., Tess Warren walks into her husband's office building wearing a $1,000 dress and a smile that could cut glass. She's carrying a manila envelope and the kind of confidence that comes from 23 years of marriage to a man with more money than sense. She doesn't make a scene, doesn't scream or throw things or cause the kind of public spectacle that gets you escorted out by security. Instead, she calmly hands the envelope to Eli's secretary and says, "Please make sure my husband gets this before his 3 o'clock meeting. It's regarding his recent business expenses." Then she leaves. Eli opens the envelope during his meeting with the board of directors. Inside are copies of every receipt, every text message, every photo Harper sent him over the past 6 months. Also included is a detailed breakdown of company policy violations and a letter from Tess's attorney explaining exactly how much this divorce is going to cost him. I know this because Tess is recording the whole thing from the hallway outside the conference room. Eli's voice carries through the door when he starts shouting. Something about privacy violations and illegal surveillance and how this is all a misunderstanding. The board doesn't seem to think it's a misunderstanding. Eli is placed on administrative leave pending a full investigation. His company credit cards are suspended. His access to building systems is revoked. His parking space is reassigned. By 4 p.m., both Harper and Eli are unemployed, under investigation, and facing the kind of legal bills that turn comfortable middle-class lives into financial nightmares. But I'm still not done. That evening, I drive to Eli's house in the suburbs. It's the kind of neighborhood where the lawns are perfect and the driveways are circular, and everyone pretends their lives are as pristine as their landscaping. Eli's house sits on 2 acres behind a wrought iron gate that's more for show than security. His BMW is parked in the driveway. The same BMW he used to drive Harper to hotels while his wife thought he was working late. The same BMW that's probably been the scene of more than a few encounters I don't want to think about. I park down the street and wait until the house goes dark. Then I walk up the driveway like I belong there, carrying a small bag of supplies I picked up at the hardware store. It takes me 15 minutes to slash all 4 tires on the BMW. Another 5 to key home wrecker into the paint on both sides. I use Harper's favorite shade of red lipstick for the windshield message. Thanks for the promotion, boss. The security cameras are easy to disable. Eli's home network is protected by the kind of password a 12-year-old could crack. I loop the footage so it looks like nothing happened, then upload the real video to a cloud server where Tess can access it later. As I'm walking back to my car, a light comes on in an upstairs window. Eli's silhouette appears behind the curtains, probably wondering what that noise was outside. He's about to have a very unpleasant morning. My phone buzzes as I drive away. Text from Tess. Jenna's hiding something, found her DUI arrest from last year. Harper helped cover it up. Interesting. Seems like Harper's best friend has her own secrets to protect. Secrets that make her vulnerable to the right kind of pressure. I text back. Send me everything you've got. Time to have a conversation with Jenna. Jenna's DUI arrest happened on a Tuesday night in March, 3 blocks from her apartment. Alcohol level of 12, which is significantly above the legal limit and well into your life is about to get complicated territory. She hit a parked car, fled the scene, and was arrested 20 minutes later when she called Harper crying about needing help. Harper made the problem disappear. Called in favors, hired an expensive lawyer, got the charges reduced to reckless driving with community service. Jenna kept her license, her job, and her reputation. In exchange, she became Harper's accomplice in covering up the affair. I know all this because Tess Warren has connections in the legal community that go back generations. Her father was a judge, her brother is a prosecutor, and her charity work has put her in contact with half the lawyers in the city. When she wants information, she gets it. Jenna's terrified of this getting out, Tess tells me over coffee. Her company has a zero-tolerance policy for criminal charges. Even a misdemeanor could cost her the promotion she's been working toward. So Harper has leverage over her. Had leverage. Now we do. We're sitting in the same coffee shop where we first met, planning the next phase of Harper and Eli's destruction. Tess has embraced her role as vengeful wife with the enthusiasm of someone who's finally found her calling. She's got spreadsheets, timelines, and a contact list that reads like a who's who of local society. I've been making calls, she continues. Harper's name is already circulating in HR circles. Word is she'll be lucky to find work as a secretary after this. Eli's even worse off. 3 board positions gone, 2 consulting contracts terminated. His golf club membership is under review. What about criminal charges? That's where it gets interesting. The company is considering filing charges for embezzlement, but they're worried about the publicity. Easier to just blacklist them and move on. Unless someone forces their hand. Tess smiles. Unless someone forces their hand. That afternoon, I pay a visit to Jenna's office. Morrison Pharmaceutical occupies 4 floors of a downtown high-rise, all glass and steel and corporate ambition. Jenna works in marketing on the third floor, corner cubicle, with a view of the parking garage. She sees me coming, and her face goes white. Harper must have warned her that I was asking questions, digging into their friendship, looking for pressure points. Jenna's smart enough to know that if I'm here, it's not for a friendly chat. "Colin," she says, trying to sound casual, "what brings you downtown?" "Just wanted to thank you for being such a good friend to Harper, really going above and beyond to help her out." "I don't know what you mean." I sit down in the chair next to her desk uninvited. "Sure you do. March 15th, Tuesday night, corner of 5th and Main, alcohol level .12, fleeing the scene of an accident. Ring any bells?" Jenna's hands start shaking. "I don't have to talk to you." "You're absolutely right. You can talk to me or you can talk to your boss when he gets an anonymous tip about your criminal record. Your choice." She looks around the office like she's hoping someone will rescue her. No one's paying attention. Everyone's too busy with their own problems to notice that Jenna's world is about to collapse. "What do you want?" she whispers. "Information about Harper's affair, about how you helped cover it up, about what other secrets you two have been keeping." "I can't." "You can, and you will. Because if you don't, I'm going to make sure everyone in this building knows exactly what kind of person they've been working with. Think your promotion prospects are good with a DUI on your record?" Jenna breaks. Not all at once, but slowly, like a dam with a crack that gets bigger under pressure. She tells me about helping Harper create alibis, about lying to me when I called looking for my wife, about covering for Harper when she used company resources for personal trips. But the real bombshell comes at the end. "It wasn't supposed to go this far," Jenna says, tears streaming down her face. "I just wanted Harper to get in trouble, maybe get demoted. I didn't think she'd actually fall for Eli, and I didn't think you'd find out." "What are you talking about?" "I introduced them at the office Christmas party. Harper was complaining about being passed over for promotion, and I suggested she should get to know Eli better. I thought maybe she'd flirt with him, make a fool of herself, ruin her reputation." The pieces click into place. "You set her up." "I was jealous, okay? Harper always got everything handed to her. The good assignments, the recognition, the respect. I thought if she screwed up badly enough, I'd finally get noticed. But then she actually got promoted. Because she was sleeping with him. It wasn't supposed to work. It was supposed to backfire." I lean back in my chair, processing this revelation. Jenna didn't just help Harper cover up the affair. She orchestrated it. She pushed Harper toward Eli, knowing it would either destroy her reputation or create a scandal that would take them both down. "You're going to help me finish this," I tell her. "I can't. If Harper finds out I set her up, Harper's not your problem anymore. I am. And unless you want your DUI arrest to become public knowledge, you're going to do exactly what I tell you." That evening, I meet with Tess to share what I've learned. She's fascinated by the idea that Jenna was the puppet master behind the whole affair, the jealous friend who pushed Harper into a situation designed to destroy her. "It's perfect," Tess says. "We can use Jenna to deliver the final blow. Harper trusts her completely." "What did you have in mind?" "Tomorrow is the quarterly board meeting at Meridian Financial. All the major investors will be there, along with the press. If someone were to leak the details of Harper and Eli's affair at exactly the right moment, it would be front-page news. It would be a scandal that destroys them both permanently." We spend the next hour planning Harper's public humiliation. Jenna will call Harper, tell her that Meridian is reconsidering her termination, that there's a chance to salvage her career if she shows up to the board meeting to defend herself. Harper, desperate and grasping at straws, will believe it. And when she walks into that boardroom, she'll find her most intimate secrets displayed on a projection screen for everyone to see. "You realize this ends everything," Tess says as we're finishing our planning. "After tomorrow, there's no going back, no reconciliation, no forgiveness, no second chances." "Good," I reply. "I'm tired of second chances." The Meridian Financial Boardroom occupies the entire top floor of their downtown headquarters, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city. It's the kind of room where million-dollar deals are made and careers are built or destroyed with a single presentation. Today, it's going to be Harper's execution chamber. I'm positioned across the street in an office building Tess's connections helped me access. Through high-powered binoculars, I can see into the boardroom where 12 board members, 6 investors, and 3 reporters are gathering for the quarterly meeting. None of them know they're about to witness the most spectacular professional meltdown in Meridian Financial's history. Jenna made the call an hour ago, her voice shaking as she delivered the script we'd prepared. Harper believed every word. Why wouldn't she? Jenna's been her most trusted friend for 15 years, the one person who's never let her down. The irony is almost too perfect. At 2:47 p.m., Harper walks into the Meridian building wearing her best suit and carrying a briefcase full of documents she thinks will save her career. She spent the last 3 days preparing a defense, crafting explanations for her relationship with Eli, gathering character references and performance reviews. None of it matters. She's walking into an ambush. Tess is already in the building, posing as a reporter from the Business Journal. Her press credentials are legitimate, purchased through connections that go back to her college days. She's carrying a laptop loaded with every photo, every text message, every piece of evidence we've gathered over the past week. At 3:00 p.m., the board meeting begins. Harper is escorted to the boardroom by security, probably wondering why she needs an escort for a simple discussion about her employment status. When she walks through those doors and sees the assembled crowd, the confusion on her face is visible even from my position across the street. At 3:03 p.m., Tess stands up and announces that she has information relevant to the company's recent personnel decisions. Before anyone can stop her, she connects her laptop to the boardroom's projection system. Harper's face fills the wall-mounted screen. Not a professional headshot or company photo, but one of the explicit images she sent to Eli 3 weeks ago. The boardroom erupts in shocked murmurs and uncomfortable shuffling. Harper tries to run for the door, but security blocks her exit. She's trapped in a room full of investors and reporters, while her most intimate secrets are displayed in high definition for everyone to see. Tess cycles through the evidence methodically. Text messages discussing how to hide hotel expenses. Photos from their weekend getaway to Miami. Email chains where Harper and Eli laugh about deceiving their spouses and violating company policy. The pièce de résistance is a recording Eli made on his phone during one of their hotel encounters. Harper's voice, clear and unmistakable, talking about how she's going to use her relationship with Eli to destroy her competition and climb the corporate ladder. "I don't care who gets hurt," Harper says on the recording. "I've been playing by the rules my whole career, and where has it gotten me? Time to play dirty." The boardroom is silent except for the sound of reporters typing furiously on their phones. This isn't just a corporate scandal anymore. It's a human interest story, a morality tale, a cautionary tale about ambition and betrayal that will be front-page news by tomorrow morning. Harper collapses into a chair, her face buried in her hands. When she looks up, there are tears streaming down her cheeks and something broken in her eyes that wasn't there an hour ago. "Please," she whispers, "please stop." But Tess isn't finished. She produces a folder containing bank statements, credit card receipts, and expense reports that clearly show Harper and Eli used company funds for personal entertainment. The amounts are staggering. $15,000 over 6 months, all of it documented and traceable. "Ladies and gentlemen," Tess announces to the room, "I present evidence of systematic embezzlement, fraud, and breach of fiduciary duty by 2 former Meridian Financial employees." One of the board members asks if the company plans to file criminal charges. The CEO, looking like someone who's just realized his company is about to become a laughingstock, says they're reviewing all legal options. Harper stands up on shaky legs and tries one last time to reach the door. This time, security lets her pass. She stumbles out of the boardroom and toward the elevators, probably hoping to escape before the reporters can follow her. She doesn't make it. The elevator doors open to reveal Eli Warren, flanked by 2 police officers and looking like he's aged 10 years in the past week. He's wearing handcuffs and an orange jumpsuit that suggests his legal troubles have escalated beyond simple employment termination. Eli? Harper's voice breaks on his name. They arrested me this morning, he says without looking at her. Embezzlement charges. My lawyer says I'm looking at 5 to 10 years. The reporters surge forward with cameras and microphones. Harper tries to push past them, but there's nowhere to go. The elevator is blocked, the stairs are on the other side of the building, and she's surrounded by people who want to document her humiliation for posterity. Mrs. Merritt, one reporter shouts, do you have any comment on the allegations of fraud? Mrs. Merritt, is it true you used company funds to finance your affair? Mrs. Merritt, what do you say to people who trusted you? Harper breaks, not gracefully, not quietly, but with the kind of complete emotional collapse that makes for great television. She screams at the reporters, pushes a cameraman, and tries to claw her way through the crowd like a trapped animal. Security intervenes before she can hurt anyone, but the damage is done. The footage of Harper's meltdown will be on every news channel by evening, shared on social media until it becomes a viral symbol of corporate corruption and personal betrayal. I watch from across the street as they escort her from the building. She's crying uncontrollably now, her carefully constructed professional image destroyed beyond repair. Her briefcase is gone, her suit is wrinkled, and she looks like someone who's just realized that actions have consequences. My phone buzzes. Text from Tess. Phase 2 complete. Meet me at the parking garage. The parking garage beneath the Meridian building is where this all started, in a way, where Harper and Eli used to meet for their secret rendezvous, thinking they were too smart to get caught. Today, it's where their story ends. Eli is waiting by his BMW, which still bears the scars from my late-night visit. The red lipstick has faded, but the key scratches are permanent reminders of what happens when you mess with the wrong person's marriage. Colin, he says when he sees me. I guess you got what you wanted. Not quite yet. I hand him an envelope similar to the one I gave Harper a week ago. Inside is a bill for every cent Harper spent on their affair, itemized down to the penny. Hotel rooms, dinners, gifts, travel expenses. The total comes to $37,000. Consider it a divorce settlement, I tell him. Harper's portion of our joint assets, plus interest. I don't have that kind of money, not anymore. Then you'd better find it, because if you don't, I'll make sure every employer in the city knows exactly what kind of man they'd be hiring. Eli's hands shake as he opens the envelope. You've already destroyed my career. What more do you want? I want you to understand that there are consequences for your actions. I want you to spend the next 10 years rebuilding your life from nothing, just like Harper's going to do. I want you to remember that you brought this on yourself. Tess appears from behind a concrete pillar, holding her phone like she's been recording our conversation. Knowing her, she probably has been. Hello, darling, she says to Eli with mock sweetness. Enjoying your last day of freedom? Tess, please. Please what? Please forgive you? Please pretend this never happened? Please let you destroy our family for some corporate slut? Eli flinches at the venom in her voice. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Every hotel room, every lie, every time you used our money to buy her gifts. Those weren't mistakes. They were choices. She hands him a thick manila folder. Divorce papers. I'm taking the house, the cars, the boat, and half of everything else. You can keep your legal bills and your criminal record. What about the kids? What about them? You think they want to see their father after this becomes public? You think they want to explain to their friends why Daddy's on the evening news? Eli's face crumbles. For the first time since this whole thing started, I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. 23 years, Tess continues. 23 years I stood by you, supported your career, played the perfect corporate wife, and you threw it all away for 6 months with a woman who was using you to get ahead. She turns to me. Harper's waiting upstairs, parking level 3. I thought you might want to have a final conversation. I take the elevator to level 3, where Harper is sitting on a concrete barrier next to her car. She looks small and defeated, nothing like the confident woman who walked into that boardroom an hour ago. Her phone is buzzing constantly, probably reporters and former colleagues wanting statements or explanations she can't provide. "Colin," she says when she sees me. "I'm sorry. I know that doesn't mean anything now, but I'm sorry." "For which part? The affair, the lying, or getting caught?" "All of it. Everything. I never meant for it to go this far." I sit down next to her, maintaining enough distance that we're not touching. "What did you think would happen, Harper? Did you think I'd never find out? Did you think there wouldn't be consequences?" "I thought I could control it. I thought I could have both, the marriage and the career advancement. I thought I was smart enough to manage the situation. You thought I was stupid enough to let you." She nods, tears streaming down her face. "I underestimated you. I underestimated how much damage you could do when you put your mind to it." "I didn't do this, Harper. You did. Every choice, every lie, every betrayal. You built this house of cards, and I just knocked it down. So what happens now?" I stand up and hand her one final envelope. Inside are divorce papers, a restraining order, and a list of every asset we shared that's now frozen pending legal proceedings. "Now you start over. New job, new city, new life. Because your old one is over." "Colin, please. We can work this out. We can go to counseling, rebuild trust." "There's nothing left to rebuild. You burned it all down when you decided Eli Warren was worth more than 12 years of marriage." I walk toward the elevator, leaving her sitting alone in the parking garage where her affair began. As the doors close, I can hear her sobbing, the sound echoing off the concrete walls like the final echo of everything we used to be. My phone buzzes one last time. Text from Tess. "It's done. Harper and Eli are finished. Jenna's been fired for helping cover up the affair, and the story's already trending on social media. Thank you for helping me destroy them." I text back. "Thank you for making it possible. Sometimes the villain wins." I drive home to the house Harper and I shared for 8 years, the place where we built a life that turned out to be a lie. Tomorrow, I'll start the process of selling it and moving somewhere new, somewhere without memories of a woman who chose ambition over loyalty. Tonight, I pour myself 3 fingers of bourbon and watch the evening news. Harper's meltdown is the lead story, complete with footage of her screaming at reporters and being escorted from the building by security. The anchor describes it as a cautionary tale about corporate corruption and personal betrayal. They're calling it the scandal of the year. Harper Sloan Merritt, the HR manager who slept her way to a promotion and embezzled company funds to finance her affair. Eli Warren, the executive who threw away his career and his family for 6 months of hotel room encounters. But they're missing the real story. This wasn't about corporate corruption or workplace affairs or even revenge. This was about consequences, about what happens when someone thinks they're smart enough to cheat without getting caught, ruthless enough to destroy a marriage without facing justice. Harper thought she was the villain in our story, the ambitious woman willing to do anything to get ahead. But she was wrong. She was just the catalyst. I was the villain all along. And for the first time in months, I'm completely satisfied with my work.